Thompson and St. Coeur side by side. Racing it out. Who has the faster car to finish this thing? St. Coeur is going to bring it home in first. What a race at the end of that thing. Caution, caution, caution. Come around the corner. Jamie Horne is going to be your winner here at the Mars Properties 200.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Doghouse Racing TV for your Thursday night action with the Group 6 Cup Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway, now renamed Echo Park Speedway, I believe, as of a few weeks ago. So we are out here, formerly known as Atlanta. I believe it's the second time that we are out here this year. First winner was going to be Brent McCoy back a few weeks ago. Just making sure I have that right. Yeah, Brent McCoy back in February 27th. Last time we were here, going to take the win here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I haven't seen Brent in a few weeks, so could be a new winner here tonight. I remember the strategy being a little different from everybody else that was out there on the track, but a lot of guys looking to shake things up here, move up in the points, you know, try their hand here at Atlanta. This is night one of our double. We will be back not next week, but the week after, right here again for another race at Atlanta. Due to some scheduling changes, and also talk about scheduling changes, my partner Hunter Foley is not currently here right now. Maybe joining us later on tonight, but he got caught up with his real job and trying to make the big bucks out there. So he's got to do what he's got to do. He might try to be here a little bit later on. But for now, you'll be hanging out with me for the next hour or so by ourselves. My name is John. Been broadcasting with the Doghouse Racing League for this year. Race with these guys quite a bit. It's always a good time racing with them. It's almost as fun calling the races, although I like to be out there. But want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors before we get going here, starting with Group 6 Cup, or Group 6, who is sponsoring our Cup Series. Group 6 is a leading creative agency passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Our mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore the wide range of services at group6inc.com and see how we can drive your digital success. That is Group6, the number 6, inc.com. Also want to give a shout out to Shoney. Shoney's been a long-time sponsor of the league. The Doghouse Racing League is proud to be sponsored by Shoney. Shoney's is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. And we are also brought to you by Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is one of the leading brands in iRacing haptics. If you're looking to take your iRacing to the next level, check out thebuttkicker.com to see what they can do for you. And if Hunter was here, he would say our shameless little self-plug like he always does. But our shameless little self-plug, Nap Daddy Racing, we are a group started out doing paints and designs, but now transitioning more to broadcast, trying to be your one-stop shop for all your iRacing needs. You could check us out at napdaddyracing.com. Or just hit us up, say hey, follow us on social media, check out our Discord, check out the Doghouse Racing Discord. Got a new series starting up on Tuesday nights with the ARCA cars, with the new ARCA cars in there. Going to be an exciting time. That's going to be on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. practice sessions will open at 7. That's going to be on Intensity Broadcasting on YouTube. A big shout out to Intensity Broadcasting for being a broadcaster for the Doghouse Racing League for a few years. I know we pick up a lot of tips and tricks from those, or that guy over there, Josh, but want to always give respect where respect is due. But on to tonight, we are here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Pull up the race info for you here. As you can see, track temperature is going to be 86 degrees tonight. Nice track temp, hoping to keep some grip on those tires. I know this track is a little different now with the setup changes and the changes that iRacing has made to these next-gen cars. I've heard whisperings how the High Line is no longer a good place to run. However, that is two people's opinion, and it could change overnight here. Things could be totally different with the Doghouse Racing League, but we will see. Generally, I don't like running the High Line because I usually hit the wall, but these guys know how to grip it and rip it and run it up there and be fast at it. So looking forward to some good action right there. Check out some of the guys practicing now with 1:15 left here in this practice session. Last week, our winner was going to be Jamie Horne at Pocono. Kind of in a dominating fashion, went out there and took the whole thing. Andrew St. Coeur did give him a run near the end, but Jamie Horne able to pull away, get that third or second victory in a row. And tonight he will be out here looking for a three-peat. Andrew St. Coeur also with a great run last week in that Beast Mode Performance team. Going to finish in second place, but that is also going to keep him in second place in the standings right now, as I don't have it actually on the overlay, but I can pull it up through a web browser right here for you the old-fashioned way. Not really maybe the best way, but this is where we're at right now. But Jamie Horne is going to be your points leader. Andrew St. Coeur behind him. Justin McMahon in third place, moved up a spot last week. Kevin Thompson is going to be in fourth place. Kevin Thompson has been having some great runs lately. A lot of high finishes, and I think he leads the league in passes, the most passes made, which is crazy. Guy just goes from front to back. Same thing with Eric Warman. Guy goes from front or back to front, I guess is the best way to say it, back to front the entire race, and he's in second place with the most passes in the league. Seth Fitzpatrick moving down 3 spots in 6th. Then you got Shane Parrish in 7th. Adam Thompson in 8th, moving up a spot. Chris Simon moving up 2 spots, going to be in that 9th place position. And Gary Clune in 10th place. But we are about to get qualifying here. Let's see who gets out here on the track first. I believe Adam Gardner is going to be one of our first ones out here. Looks like Gary Clune's going to jump to the top of the leaderboard there with his first lap, as he's going to come around and try to capitalize on that out in the track as well. Steven Bonomo coming out here making his first round. Gary Armijo jumping into that 8th place spot. Eric Anderson throwing down a good time. Bill Gentry throwing down a good time for his second lap. Gary Clune seeing if he can grab that first place spot back. from Bill Gentry. Looks like he's not going to be able to do it. Daniel Wilkerson climbing up to that third place spot. Got Andrew St. Coeur out here on the track making his second lap now, currently sitting 18th. See how much he can move up here as he comes around turn 3. And he's going to jump from 18th all the way to the first place position, sitting on the pole. Right behind him is going to be Jamie Horne with his 2 laps complete as he shuts it off to bring it on in. Currently have Michael Dow out here on the track trying to put down his second lap, currently sitting in the 23rd spot. Adam Thompson also making his way out here to complete his first lap. So yet to enter the track right now is Richard Leclerc in that 117 car, Eric Warman in that 31 car, and Chris Simon, part of that Shoney's race team, who I believe just got out on the track now. So we're watching Adam Thompson here come around to try to make better of his second lap. I don't know if he touched the wall or something happened on that first lap, but the first lap did not register for him. That's going to move him up to the 14th position. BMAC in the comments. Good luck, Team BMP. Keeping my eye on you, Andrew, number 12. Go get him. I'm keeping my eye on St. Coeur as well tonight because I think tonight could be a good run for him. Trying to boost himself up in the points. And I believe that is going to wrap up our qualifying as we head up into our 5-minute warm-up session. In the comments, Andrew in the pole position, but his brother just reminded me it's not where you start, it's where you end. I 100% agree with his brother. I wish I could make a t-shirt about it because I feel like I say it all the time and remind people of that. If somebody spots for me or just hanging out during a race, you can lead 99. If it's a 100-lap race, you can lead 99 laps, but if you don't lead the last lap, you didn't win the race. So you got to go out there and really give it your best and make sure you are leading that very last lap. I used to tell guys that in the league I was in all the time, and there's no trophies for leading the most laps, and sure enough, they sent me a trophy for leading the most laps one race because I said it so much. The one race I did do that. But speaking of laps led, we looked at some stats last week. I believe it was Jamie Horne that had a percentage of 16 to 20% of the laps that he has ran this season have all been on leading a race. And if you want to check out some of your favorite driver stats from the Doghouse Racing League, you can check out simracerhub.com and look up the Doghouse Racing League. It's actually where I get all my books from and figuring out who's doing what and where. But a lot of interesting statistics up here. Would make for a good trivia inside the race. For instance, just a little fun facts to throw out here to you. If you're looking at the driver with the lowest amount of incident points, meaning they have been in the accident the least, the first place guy is going to be Jamie Horne. The second place is going to be Richard Leclerc. And this is with at least 10 starts. Like third is Shane Parrish, fourth is Eric Anderson, and then Daniel Wilkerson with the least amount of incidents in the league. Interesting little stat there. The little fun fact for you, if you're looking for the average change in position in a positive way per race, is this guy right here, Bill Gentry. With at least 10 races this season, he has got an average change of at least 8 positions per race from where he starts to where he finishes. So Bill always looking to move up to the front. I believe it was him Tuesday night when we were racing at Las Vegas in the ARCA series that was talking about how he's just hanging back and saving his tires up, and he's bit me a few times on that. I know he's got a lot of other people on that. Red Nick in the comments to finish first. To finish first, one must first finish. That got me there for a second. Yeah, that's very true. And I got a lot of respect for this league too, for the fact that I feel like most of the guys in this league understand that you can't win the race if you ain't got 4 tires driving on the pavement at the end of the race, you know? Like, so a lot of other places will try to send it first lap and got to get to the front. But I mean, like I said, there's no awards for winning the most laps. I mean, you might get a little bonus points, but you ain't going to win the race if you don't make it to the end. So a lot of guys got to protect that car, keep it safe. I know this draft's going to be a little bit different tonight with these cars and how the setup is. I haven't heard much feedback about Atlanta and the new setup besides that the High Line may not play. Let me see if I can pull up my notes and see what this guy said here. Well, the exact quote was, "The High Line is trash now." And another person said, "Everyone single files to the bottom, and it's hard to keep a line." So looking forward to that tonight. Hopefully these guys can hold a line down on the bottom side. Hopefully there's some good racing going on in passing. We try to run you through the grid here really quick before we start. Starting off with your guys sitting on row 1. That's going to be Andrew St. Coeur taking that pole position tonight. And his outside is going to be Jamie Horne in that P2 spot. I'm wondering what my cameras are doing here. Starting in that 3rd place spot, you are going to have Kevin Thompson. And on the outside of him is going to be Shoney's race team, Mike Leftwich. 3rd row is going to be made up of Gary Clune in that 11 car with Beast Mode Performance. So 3 BMP guys up there at the front. And then Daniel Wilkerson is going to be on his outside in that 28 machine. Moving into the 4th row, you have Eric Anderson sitting in 7th place with Graybeard Racing. And then Jonathan Jennings racing out of Welford, South Carolina, kind of near my neck of the woods. Starting in 9th place, you're going to have Nicholas Atwood and also Tyler Millette in Allow Pedal Racing. Looking forward to seeing Tyler do something tonight, too. I mean, I think he's been a little quiet racing this season, but I know he's got a lot of talent. I know he can run near the front. Tonight might be a good night for him. I know he usually runs well at Atlanta, so if you're making picks at home, Tyler Millette's a good pick. Justin McMahon, also a fantastic pick to make, starting that 11th position. And then on his outside is going to be Bill Gentry. We just talked about him, how he has the highest average change of position this season. It's going to be hard for him to move up too much from 12th place, but we will see what he can do tonight. Eric Anderson in that 43 machine out of Panama City, Florida, is in 9th. I just talked about him. My whole thing just shuffled. Anyway, Stephen Bonomo and Adam Thompson are going to make up that next row. Gary Armijo in that 7 car. And then Zach Miller in 16th place. 17th is going to go to Zach Michael. And 18th to Adam Gardner. Starting in 19th, we have B.J. Hall. On his outside is going to be Michael Dow. 21st, Jason Ross. Mark Dumont in 22nd. Chris Simon hanging back in the back right now in 23rd place. Brett McCoy won it here earlier this year in 24th. And you have Clay Wood in 25th place. Eric Warman, you know that guy can save some tires, sitting in 26th. And Richard Leclerc, who's had a clean driving record this season. He's going to be starting in 27th. And that is going to be your grid. As the pace car is off, St. Coeur on that inside, getting the jump. Gary Clune behind Kevin Thompson, giving him a little push to help him get going. And Jamie Horne's going to be on that high side. And I do realize there is a slight audio problem right now with some of these cameras, and I will fix them as soon as we get to a break. Jamie Horne falling back pretty far on that high side, not having a lot of help or a good push. About to get a good one from Mike Leftwich here behind him. Daniel Wilkerson hanging out right there. I mean, like I said, I didn't have many notes on tonight, but I did hear that the high line might not be the move. So now you have 3 BMP guys sitting up there at the front. Andrew St. Coeur, Kevin Thompson, Gary Clune sitting 1, 2, 3. Eric Anderson right behind, trying to catch the wave. Nick Atwood in 5th, also part of that Beast Mode Performance team, trying to get around Anderson. I remember, I believe it was either Daytona or Talladega, where those 4 guys, St. Coeur, Thompson, Clune, and Atwood, were all together making pushes the whole night, working as a team, and those guys were fast out there. And it might have been the one that Gary Clune won at the beginning of the season. And with this new configuration with the Atlanta Motor Speedway here, sorry, Echo Park Speedway, I believe I should call it now, but it is kind of like super speedway racing on a 1.5 miles. There's not a lot of lifting. I mean, you're kind of just putting the gas down and sending it out there. You might have to lift a little bit, not much at all. Pretty good grip all around for the most part. Somebody just tagged the wall there. I saw the smoke fly up. Just saw somebody fall down a few positions here. It's like Jason Ross. You see Dumont and Warman trying to work around him on that low side there. I know I didn't make my picks for tonight. It's kind of hard because I feel like these BMP guys can go 1, 2, 3. Just not really sure which ones. I'm going to pick one BMP guy. I'm picking Kevin Thompson from the BMP team. But if I'm picking 1, 2, 3, let's go Kevin Thompson. I like Tyler Millette as well, and I really like Justin McMahon here tonight. Somebody I really like to see do really good here tonight. If I can say have a little bias, root for somebody, it's going to be this 43 car right here, Mr. Eric Anderson. Anderson's had a lot of improvements throughout the season. Always drives right, you know, stays out of trouble. I think I showed him earlier with some of the lowest incident ratings, or talked about him earlier, but keeps the nose clean. Always coming out here. Always got a good attitude. I'm going to take a quick, probably 45-second break here because my dog is whining like crazy in my face. But before I do that, Andrew St. Coeur still got that lead. Kevin Thompson right behind him. Gary Kloon behind him. Kind of the same format that we had earlier. Jamie Horne still on that high side, followed by Mike Leftwich, Daniel Wilkerson, Tyler Millette up there. I also see Adam Thompson making a push up there. But I apologize for that. Turns out there was somebody at my front door, which is why they were whining. Kind of embarrassing to jump off stream like that, but strangers knocking at my door is kind of weird at 8 o'clock at night. But anyways, we are back here racing. Looks like Mike Leftwich has moved up into that third place spot behind Kevin Thompson. Thompson still making some good runs behind his teammate. Gary Clune falling back into that fourth place spot. Jamie Horne behind him. Mark Dumont involved in some issues. See if we can cut over to him. That's going to be our first caution. As Mark McRae says, clean race, no yellows. There goes that. See if we can cut back here to Mark Dumont. Looks like him and BJ Hall riding beside each other. That is a nice Jordan car from BJ Hall there. Yikes. It looks like something possibly went wrong with some of Dumont's equipment there. Something, the way he backed up that quick. Let's see if we can ride in the cockpit with him here. That sun is also brutal coming out of that turn there and getting into the tri-oval. This is Mark Dumont here on the low side. BJ Hall in that 199 above him. Looks like just a little misunderstanding of where each other were going to come down or stay up. I don't know if his brake wasn't working there. He just didn't hit the brake when he was sliding backwards, but. Coming into pit road and coming out now is going to be Adam Gardner, Brent McCoy, Chris Simon, Michael Dow, Clay Wood in that 198 car, and BJ Hall is still in pit road. Kind of hanging over a box. I can see here BJ Hall sports a 4.48 safety rating. The highest you can get in official races is a 5.0, so that's a pretty high safety rating, which means he is a pretty clean racer. Also, if we want to talk about clean racers, Andrew St. Coeur, your current leader, 4.99 safety rating. Kevin Thompson, 4.99. These guys keep it clean. St. Coeur, I also never noticed this, has a 5600 I rating, which is pretty high. But I've had conversations all week that I rating does not mean a single thing. Some of the best iRacers I know have lower I ratings because they just don't race officials. One of those that I'm talking about has won many races in the Doghouse Racing League, and Jonathan Jennings. Not a high I rating, but that guy knows how to get around a track and knows how to drive a car. He's going to be sitting back in 9th place tonight. Good to see him back here. We're going to take a quick 5-second pause to fix this volume issue. And we are back. Hopefully that fixes some of that. When I went to this camera here, I realized there was almost no volume coming out, so I had to adjust that really quick. But the pace car is off down to pit road. Andrew St. Coeur, your leader, going to be taking that outside lane right in front of his teammate Gary Clune. Kevin Thompson on that bottom. And the BMP guys get a fantastic jump, all three of them together. St. Coeur going to jump down to the inside. Anderson's going to sit on that high side. It's going to give Mike Leftwich the inside there as Jamie Horne follows right through with him. Atwood now going to the high side. McMahon's coming up behind Anderson, going to give him a little bump here, a little push, try to get him up to the front. They don't have much help behind them. Bottom line is stacking up. Millett's a little loose. He's going to shuffle back. Gets back on the low side in front of Adam Thompson there. That's going to be Jason Ross on the high side, followed by Zach Miller behind him. I received word this week that Zach Miller and Zach Michael have formed their own race team now. Miller in that 90 car. And Zach Michael in that 34 car. Both those guys have shown some pretty good speed at certain times this year. Know when to turn it on. And then behind them, we got your winner from the first Atlanta race. Back in February, I think I said it was, maybe it was March, but Brent McCoy picked up the win here in Atlanta, and I believe he went and picked up the win at Martinsville as well. Hasn't been out for a few weeks, so good to see him back too, jumping back into the action. Hopefully we see more Brent McCoy. We know that guy is fast and he can put it down. Coming back to the front, Eric Anderson that high side, getting a little bit of a run here. Able to work his way into the third place position. Justin McMahon giving some good pushes. Oh, Bonomo washes just a little bit high, that number 9 car. Able to keep it together. Jamie Horne's going to be right behind him in the 98. Andrew St. Coeur still your leader, hanging out front, leading just about every lap this race. Currently trying to take the stage 1 win, which will end at lap 33. Well, when they complete lap 33, I should say. Let's see if we can get you some different views of the track here. High side has really fell off. The Anderson falling way back there. Even with McMahon giving him really good bumps. I've been seeing McMahon give some great pushes coming down the stretches. It looks like Daniel Wilkerson is going to jump out with him. Those guys are going to form up, try to do it again. That is Jason Ross into the wall. He's going to fall back to the back of the pack. see some of these packs start to spread out just a little bit here. I believe Dumont might be dealing with a little bit of damage. Oh, not Dumont. That is Dumont. And that 14 car right behind Chris Simon. Both of them trying to push their way back up to the front, catch that front pack. Lap 33 here, though. Like Andrew St. Coeur is going to take your first stage. Kevin Thompson second, Gary Clune third, Mike Leftwich fourth, Nick Atwood in fifth. So all the BMP guys going to get some bonus points there. I believe that is Clay Wood there on the high side, following BJ Hall in that third lane at the top. Got to be careful there. Those cars are getting lapped right now, especially in this tri-oval. It gets a little tricky getting around that part. Unfortunately, Eric Anderson dropping all the way to the back, trying to squeeze in on that low side in front of Justin McMahon. Now all you have on that high side is going to be Mike Leftwich and his teammate Jonathan Jennings. We just saw both of those guys up there in the top 5, top 6 just a few seconds ago. And it looks like a lot of these guys are electing to go to the low side. Gary Armijo, that number 7 car. Oh, there's somebody down the low side, way back in the back. I can't even find who they are. That's going to be Clay Wood, who's just going to pull it over and park it and tow to the pits. But I was going to look at Gary Armijo up 9 spots, sitting in 6th place right now, trying to get into that top 5. Got to get around Adam Thompson first. Not sure what is going on with Clay Wood. Currently do not have him showing in my server anymore, at least on my end. When I say my server, I mean my little program here that shows me where everybody's at on the track and what's going on. Looks like Gary Armijo did jump out to that high side, so he's going to lose a few spots there. Falling all the way back to that 10th place position. Moving up in that spot, though, is going to be Adam Gardner in that 56 car. He is up 12 spots tonight. Somebody that's our biggest mover of the night, though, is Eric Warman. Whoa! Adam Gardner gets a little loose there. Going through the grass, keeping it straight for now. And eventually going to turn it, park it right inside of a pit stall. Looks like Steven Bonomo's pit stall. Not sure what happened there. We saw Eric Warman moving up right behind him. I don't know if there was any contact or it's just the way these cars are. When you get up behind somebody, they get loose now, but Horne's going to move up 20 spots, moved up tonight, sitting in P6 right now behind Adam Thompson. Behind him, your winner from last time, Brent McCoy, who has moved up 17 spots. We see Adam Garner back out here on the track now. Looks like he's going to be a lap down, but able to keep that thing back on the track and clean for the most part. A little bit of paint damage down the front. And it doesn't look like Adam Garner is the first car a lap down, so if a caution does come out, he will be getting his lap back. But right now, it's the BMP guys just dominating this race. 1, 2, 3, and 4. St. Coeur, Thompson, Clune, and Atwood. And man, this would be a huge win for St. Coeur to move up in the points. Get a little bit closer to Jamie Horne. So I try to pull up those point standings right now. Currently, Jamie Horne with 3 wins in your first place position in the points. St. Coeur in second. He is 59 points behind. And then in third place, you're going to have Justin McMahon. Been having good finishes all year. Has yet to get a win. Got 3 podiums, 4 top 5s. Looks like 9 top 10s. He is 120 points behind Jamie Horne, but only 61 points behind Andrew St. Coeur, who is sitting in that second place spot. McMahon currently sitting back in 18th position right now, kind of hanging out near the back. This stage will end at lap 66, or the completion of lap 66. St. Coeur looking at double up, take stage 1 and stage 2. Jason Ross up 13 spots tonight, trying to hold off Zach Miller behind them, looking to get around Brent McCoy. Jason currently sitting in that 8th place position. Had a good run on Tuesday night at Las Vegas with the ARCA Series and the pre-race, or the pre-season race at Las Vegas. Went off a little fuel strategy, and it worked out pretty well for him. Worked out well for Eric Warman, who picked up that win Tuesday night in the preseason race at Las Vegas. So congrats to him. Also working that fuel strategy and working it pretty well. But tonight, Eric Warman currently sitting in 6th place behind Adam Thompson. Thompson's the first guy not on that BMP team that is trying to get up there and get ahead of those guys, maybe get a little push from somebody else, split up that team a little bit. Looking over at Mike Leftwich, kind of heading up that Shoney's race team. Always like that yellow and blue scheme that he has there, the West Virginia colors. And if we're talking about Shoney's in West Virginia, you can check out Shoney's anytime you're around West Virginia. They're open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try one of their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bars and take home a homemade strawberry pie. Been working on that ad read.
I think that was a pretty fantastic job, if I do say so myself.
There he is.
Hey, howdy.
We have a second broadcaster now in the booth. My man had to go make some real money and do a real job. How are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm wonderful. How are you, sir?
Doing my best, man. Had somebody come up to my door at 8 o'clock at night, so I had to jump away from the broadcast for like a good 3 minutes to address that issue. But
fun.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm currently trying to address the issue of how I get into this session a little bit late, but we are working on getting there. Had a work dinner that I was trying to sneak my my little self away from so that I could get back here and be with all of you wonderful people out there on Doghouse Racing TV.
Well, if I give you a recap of this race, the low line is playing, and also playing is that Beast Mode Performance team. Still sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, St. Coeur, Thompson, Clune, and Apple for about the whole race.
Love to see it. Love to hear it.
These guys really work well together. Of any team that I've seen in the Doghouse League, this is a team that works very well together.
Really proud to see Gary Clune up there as well. Guy's been having a ton of improvement this season, been racing really, really well. He said he's been running consistently top 3. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, he picked up that win at Daytona earlier this season, pushed by his teammate Andrew St. Coeur, and also back here tonight, we've mentioned him a few times, Brent McCoy, who won in Atlanta earlier this season. Brent McCoy is currently sitting in 7th place. He's up 17 spots for the night. Eric Warman still up 20 spots, sitting in 6th place. He is currently your biggest mover, your third biggest mover. Jason Ross up 12 positions, but getting passed right now by Jonathan Jennings, who is making a push back towards the front, trying to get that outside line going behind Adam Gardner, who is a lap down.
So with the session being closed, I'm trying to think what's a way that I could still get into view everything.
Did you go to spectate?
It won't let me spectate. It would let me spot for a couple of the guys out there. But I don't want to mess anybody up.
Let's do it this way and hope it does not kill the screen here. So generally for people at home watching and everything and been watching with us for a while now, the way it usually works is Hunter is on a different computer at a different location, but he watches pretty much one side of the pack, while everything you see on your screen now is what I can see. So he's kind of the eye in the sky for the things that I'm missing while I'm trying to get shots everywhere else. But tonight we're going to be watching the same thing.
We are, but either way, so on lap 60 of 130 here. I can see in the chat here from Mark McCrae saying clean race, no yellows. So we haven't had any yellow flags yet.
Well, as soon as he said that, our first yellow did come out.
Oh.
As soon as he put that in there, so he kind of jinxed it.
Oh. Little viewer jinx there.
Yeah, it's okay. I do the jinx all the time, so it's nice to pass that off to somebody else for once.
Maybe it'll take it permanently, you know? Maybe, like, that's the end of your broadcasting jinx.
Maybe, but I consider myself the Dickie D of iRacing. Anybody familiar with Dick Vidal? I, as a UNC fan, hated when he called UNC games.
They would always do horribly.
I remember the year that UNC lost in the championship to Villanova. Dickie V was calling a game. I think it was UNC Duke. It was coming down to the wire. Marcus Page shooting a free throw. And, of course, here comes Dickie V with his stats. Marcus Page hasn't missed a free throw in 5 games, and he misses the next 2. He just does that stuff all the time to UNC, and it drives me insane. You don't talk about the no-hitter, you know?
Yeah. Mark, again, broadcaster jinx is a real thing. It is a real thing. It is a real thing. I've done it a couple of times. John has done it a lot of times.
They're about to push it 3 wide here. Adam Gardner on the inside of Chris Simon, Mark Dumont. Looks like Jennings, Horne, McMahon, Bonomo also going to try to push through and get past those cars. They are a lap down.
That head of steam with low side is for real, man. Eric Warman making that big push there, trying to get right up to the bumper to Adam Thompson. Looks like Adam Thompson's trying to drive it up more into that middle lane, and Eric's trying to stick all the way down the bottom.
Yeah, and I only have 2 notes on tonight since the new update, and I haven't even drove the next gen cars since the update, so I'm not sure much about how they handle. I need to probably get back on that. I'm still really busy trying to put together that promo video for the league that you saw there at the beginning. Hopefully it was a good one, but the only notes I had was that the high side is trash, is what the direct quote was, and that everybody races on the low side, and it's hard to hold it down on the low side. But Andrew St. Coeur not having a single problem with any of that tonight. He has led wall to wall, wire to wire, flag to flag, as he's coming around to take stage 2 win here.
Congratulations to Andrew St. Coeur for taking that second stage. I saw in the comments where BMAC, as always, was giving her well wishes and wishing Andrew good luck, and saw where he was going to be in the pole position and said, but his brother just reminded me it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And he's trying to finish right where he started.
I forgot about that until right now. I was wondering what was going on. You have to enter the pits at Atlanta on the backstretch here, just like Andrew St. Coeur did there, followed by his teammates, all do it in a synchronous motion. Those guys look good working together, man. They have
Blue Angels, too.
Yeah.
How about Team BMP?
Looks like Jason Ross, Tyler Millette going to follow those guys. Not a bad idea with as fast as they've been tonight. Gary Armijo sitting on pit road right now as well. Adam Thompson's going to be your new race leader, looking to get some of that air out there out front and keep it going.
He's got Eric Warman right on his tail. We saw Eric was kind of trying to drive right up to his bumper there just a few laps ago. Looking like he's trying to kind of continue that pattern here. He's right on the bumper to Adam Thompson. And then, as you mentioned, good night for Brent McCoy as well, running right there in the 3rd position. And Jonathan Jennings was in your 4th spot, but it looks like he's going to be bringing it down this time by.
Looks like Jennings, Jamie Horne, Justin McMahon, Bonomo, and I see Miller back there as well, all bringing it down pit road. So Adam Thompson staying out this time around. May bring it down this time. Might be, tapping on the tank just a little bit.
Where would they be as far as their run at this point, if we're aware of those numbers?
They are going to stay out. There was a few guys that pitted a little earlier. Brent McCoy pitted on lap 20. Michael Dow pitted on lap 20 as well. But the other guys, everybody else has stayed out the entire time. Thompson is now pushing 71 laps without fuel. So they can make this a one-stop race for sure. I'm sure everybody else is doing the same thing, but
same. We've talked about it on our other broadcasts about how with this new update and the tire fall off just not nearly as bad as it used to be. Now, really, your biggest concern is those fuel runs and make sure that you don't run out. I know we've seen a couple of guys run completely out, trying to do the math on their gas mileage before, and these guys seem like they have something figured out. I love a good pit road strategy and them now knowing that they can make it all the way to the end just on the one stop. That's going to be huge.
like Brent McCoy's be diving down. Adam Thompson, Eric Warman also coming down. McCoy is going to try to race Eric Warman down pit road here.
Gonna take the inside lane there.
Yeah, any way you can, I guess. There you go. That's gonna make Michael Dow your new race leader when this cycles out and Dow gets around here. He has last pitted on lap 20. So he can stay out for another 20, I'm assuming. It looks like 72 is about the tap to the tank.
It's Michael Dow and Adam Gardner looking like they're going to cycle out of this thing.
Yeah, and Gardner's going to get his lap back for now. He did hit on lap 20, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yes. He pitted on lap 20, so he won't have to bring it down for another 20-ish, maybe 18 laps or so. McCoy, you can see, also pitted on lap 20, but did just bring it down pit road. So he's on the same strategy just about as everybody else now. Looks like your only two guys left out there is Dow and Gardner.
And that is going to cycle. Looks like Andrew St. Coeur is going to get back into third place. I saw B-Mac in the comments. Both brothers and cousin. Watching every move, Andrew. Can't wait to see you join us this weekend.
Is that an invite for us? Are we joining this weekend?
I mean, kind of sounds like an invite to me. But either way, I know Andrew would love to be visiting the family with a first place finish, which it seems like he's been really working his way towards this evening.
Uh-oh. Just got a notification that Adam Thompson crashed or hit the wall or something there. He's going to be slow and getting passed by Zach Michael.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there, because he's definitely looking a little bit on the slower side.
It had to be coming off pit road. I did see some smoke as those leaders went by. Oh, yeah. There it is. Little Tokyo drift for you. My man's been watching all the Fast and Furious movies this week.
It's a quick way to warm those new tires up. I'll give him that.
It's a strategy for sure. It is a strategy.
And he's right back in the throttle. We've talked about it before, but it seems like whenever Adam Thompson has something bad happen, the next 15 laps are going to be legendary. But Michael Dow and Adam Gardner still your race leaders. Adam Gardner about 4.1 seconds off of the lead right now. Andrew St. Coeur about 20 seconds back on those lead two cars right now. But again, Andrew will not need to pit again. Michael Dow and Adam Gardner will.
Yeah, so
that like should cycle out.
When this does cycle, it looks like it's going to be the same way we had it set before with that 1 through 4 between St. Coeur, Thompson, Clune, and Atwood. And I feel like it's almost going to be a race between teammates here at the very end.
It very well could be. Look at that. I mean, look at the push that Kevin Thompson's given Andrew St. Coeur right now. I mean, that is teammates completely working in sync, and how important that is in Atlanta just really can't be overstated.
You think St. Coeur's going to be nice enough to pull over and let Thompson get the win here, let Clune get the win?
I think he's nice enough to do it.
I don't think there's a chance.
I think his heart is nice enough to let him do it. But after leading pretty much all of the laps of this race, I don't really see a world where he's just like, all right, go on ahead. I think he want. Yeah, this could be a really good points night, and if you top that off with finishing out that win, I think he's gonna take that with him.
Yeah, checking in on your points leader right now, Jamie Horne, who is currently in first place by 59 points in front of St. Coeur. So if things finish right here, right now tonight, I mean, this would probably put St. Coeur in first place, especially with both of those stage wins. But I don't think there's a chance that St. Coeur just gives it up to his teammates here. I mean, it's like I'll tell anybody, we're teammates, ride or die to the very end, or the final lap, whichever comes first.
Just don't wreck me. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I mean, this front pack is running so fast and so well, and We talked a lot before about Atlanta and how a lot of drivers prefer the old Atlanta to the new Atlanta, but these guys seem to have something figured out here.
Yeah, I'm in that boat, man. Man, I'm like a geezer out here. Just talking about remember when? Remember when Atlanta used to be cool?
That's in the Alan Jackson song, isn't it?
I think you're right. We are kind of close to the Chattahoochee River out here in Atlanta.
It's like the number 7 machine all the way up the top of the track. That's going to be Gary Armijo. He's going to be 3 laps down. Those drivers on the lead lap work their way around him there.
Yeah, these cars in front of Michael Dow here are not passes for position or anything. These guys are trying to get their laps back. Michael Dow is trying to take it away from him, put some distance between him and that Beast Mode Performance team. But Michael Dow is going to go ahead and bring her down pit road. I believe Adam Gardner is going to keep it out. So, Michael Dow sliding it through and gets turned around.
Something going on.
Must
be something going on with that pit road right now. It's now the second driver we've seen in the last couple laps. Spin it out there on that apron, trying to get in or get out of pit road.
Well, that apron is slick, and you're got a car that's set up for banking with the camber of the tire, and how that when we talk about camber, is pretty much the left front tire and the right front tire really turning a little to the left, just how the car sits. So every car has even your car at home, you have a Honda Civic or a truck, has a natural camber to it where the bottom of the tires will sit in just a little bit on both sides. So when the weight's on it, they kind of flatten out and get most of the contact with the rubber. But these cars, both front right and front left, sit a little to the left where that top side is facing to the left. It helps them make this angle in the corner a lot easier. Also make sure that every bit of that tire is touching the pavement to ensure the most grip and speed. But once that starts hitting flat pavement, it gets pretty loose there.
I was going to say, I really like the strategy actually out of Michael Dow to bring it in before you're completely out, be able to, kind of have more laps out there on the track, being able to run with the rest of the guys. I actually really like that kind of strategy that he was thinking of there, but unfortunately that spin entering pit road is probably going to make that journey back to the front a little bit more difficult. But Adam Gardner still has a couple laps out there of gas where he's going to be able to stay in the lead of this thing. Was that a new paint scheme I saw for Adam Gardner as well? It looked almost like he had a tribute on the front.
It is. I don't have a zoom camera set up for this track. You try to, Nap Valley Racing tries to make a camera package for every track. This is one of the earlier camera packages I made before I started putting a zoomed in camera for each car. Wish I could get that a little bit better, but he does have a tribute there on the front.
Look at the peeps on the kid.
And I believe Adam Gardner did take a week or so off for the passing of a family member. I know a lot of the leagues sent their sympathies out to him and condolences during that time.
Yeah, for sure.
But good to see Adam back out here tonight, leading some laps, getting some points in. Was a lap down. Now he's out here in front.
I was going to say, if you're one of the leaders of this race, Adam Gardner obviously out there leading laps. I know he's going to have to pit here right now. Wow, that worked out really well. But if you're one of the leaders of this race, you got St. Coeur, Thompson, Clune, all those guys out there that have been really running the wheels off of it all race long. Then you got even guys like Adam Thompson, who is a lap down right now, but I know he's pretty much at this point praying for another caution so he can get back on the lead lap. But a lot of your other competition is, pretty good ways back and also a lap down. Jonathan Jennings, Chris Simon, Bill Gentry, Jamie Horne, race points leader, Justin McMahon, all guys we saw kind of toward the front of this race. And due to how the pits cycled out, all of them kind of find themselves pushed a little bit further back there.
Yeah, so right now it is going to cycle back out where your race leader is Andrew St. Coeur, Kevin Thompson, Gary Clune, and Nick Atwood, all BMP guys in that 1 through 4 spot. The 34 of Zachary Michael. I don't know if he likes to be called Zachary. Zach Michael is going to be a lap down. Kevin Thompson, Adam Thompson, I'm sorry, the other Thompson, 71, the Red Bull machine, also going to be a lap down as well, hanging out with the pack. Your next threats up is going to be Eric Warman, leading this pack with Brent McCoy. I believe Chris Simon is a lap down in the 21 car. Mike Leftwich is on the lead lap inside that pack. You also have Steven Manomo there. Bill Gentry is a lap down. Zach Miller on the lead lap, followed by Eric Anderson. And Dumont behind him in that 14 car is also a lap down.
How the pits have cycled out of this thing have made some very, very mixed packs, but makes for really good racing. I know a lot of people for the new Atlanta, it's just, you know, kind of go fast, go left, which for some people's, you know, super interesting and fun, and other people don't love it as much. But who does love it is Team BMP, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just a pretty dominating performance across the board.
At least said it and so many times, man. Like, Doghouse Racing League is so competitive that you have you get your wins and you lose races off a pit road strategy or just pit road.
And it seems, at least right now, that those guys had that thing calculated out to a T. Because now they're at the point where you're running 1, 2, 3, 4. Your next closest threat's going to be almost 5 seconds back. Again, in a kind of a mixed pack like what you have here in the front. And you don't need to pit again. And there's only 2 other cars on the track that are going to have fresher tires than you, if that's even an issue. Got Mark McRae in the comments saying that he's watching this thing on the big screen here. We appreciate it, and we hope that it looks good up there on the big screen. I do see where we have 14 people out there in the stream as well, so thank you, as always, very much for joining us. I know we appreciate it, and the drivers appreciate it. Again, my apologies that here for the start of this thing. Had a work dinner that I had to attend, and as much as I love being in the booth, and that is a lot, I do like being employed more.
My apologies again for stepping away. There's just events transpiring here on this side of South Carolina right now, outside my house.
Well, I gotta know.
I don't even know what's going on. First I had somebody knock on my door at 8 o'clock. The dogs, thankfully, nicest guard dogs in the world, alerted me to it. Went downstairs, checked that out, thought it was really weird. And now there's a fire across the street from my house. Very small fire, a little brush fire, no big deal, but kind of weird. Fire department
Yeah,
out there got it handled and everything. So
I was gonna say the wee woo wagon out there got it all wrapped up, taken care of.
yeah, the boys in Jobtown got it covered, but can't help but like hypothesize and putting together some conspiracies that that guy that knocked on my door may have started that fire.
You never know.
I was just sitting here. I was like, I was like, man, this is like obviously tapping into some core memories because I can smell the racetrack. And then I kept smelling.
Yeah.
I was like, that's smoke. I smell smoke. Sure.
God almighty.
But this is really just hitting me right in the memories right now.
You just have the world's nicest arsonist outside of your house. He's like, I'm gonna set something on fire, but you know what? Don't want there to be anyone home.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually did or not, but it is kind of weird that those two things happened at one time. Anyways, we have 28 laps to go.
Sean Thompson said he's been going to the Atlanta race for 40 years. He does like the fast-paced racing of the new configuration, but misses the old 80s configuration. I know we've actually had the chance to talk about that on stream a couple different times, the differences between old Atlanta and new Atlanta. And forgive me, you may have talked about this while I was away, but what's kind of your thoughts on the differences between old Atlanta and new Atlanta?
So I only say that I hate it because of iRacing, the new setup, just because driving on it. And I kind of feel the same way about soccer. I hate watching soccer, but I love playing soccer. Kind of one of those things that I don't know. It's kind of the same way, I guess, but not really. I don't like driving on New Atlanta, but I love watching the New Atlanta, like especially like the real guys doing it and on Sunday and everything. I do like that a little bit for the most part. But as far as iRacing goes, the Gym 4s, the old legacy Gym 4s on this track, the old Atlanta track, was a blast.
Sean again in the comments, turn 1 was turn 3. I'm actually not fully aware, like myself, of what all the...
Let's talk about that one. Yeah, I don't have much experience with that configuration there. I'm just talking about before the whole repave and everything.
What was that? That was 2020?
It sounds like a good time for me to look it up. Oh, we gotta be careful now. It's not Atlanta Motor Speedway anymore.
Yep.
Echo Park Speedway.
John's saying that Atlanta has the best racing of any track. I do think that Atlanta has a pretty good argument for that. I usually enjoy watching Charlotte. I think this year's, if we're referring to real life Charlotte, left a lot to be desired, but I also think that the super speedways are really fun to watch in real life, and a lot of times in iRacing that doesn't translate over as well, because I mean you just have a lot of guys, typically some that are super speedway experts and others that are more short track people. But again, that's the beauty of watching the Doghouse Racing League Group 6 Cup Series, that you just end up with a lot of really talented guys, and you end up kind of with a situation like this where it is certainly seeming like this race is going to be decided from both really fast cars and some pit road decisions. You still have Andrew St. Cord, Kevin Thompson, and Gary Clune 1, 2, 3 in this thing. Still got Nick Atwood, the number 91 machine, about 1.4 seconds back in fourth. Eric Warman still right at 4 seconds behind. And Matt's in the 5th position. Those other guys you see up there in that lead pack, which is going to be Adam Thompson and Adam Gardner, who did lead a couple laps here just a little bit ago before he had to bring it down onto pit road.
Here's one for you. 1958, when they started building this track, they were selling stocks to the public for $4 a share.
Good Lord.
They only sold $40,000 worth of shares, which is crazy.
Trying to get everyone to buy stock in a racetrack immediately pre-Great Depression. I love it. Or immediately post Great Depression.
Yeah, might not be a good idea.
I need to brush up on my mid 1900s history, apparently.
Brush up on your depression.
No need, or so says my therapist. Sean Thompson saying, come on, Kevin, win and I buy you any shirt you want at the race Saturday. Kevin, that's some motivation. I've seen the racetrack prices with inflation these days. That's a $35 t-shirt, buddy. Come on.
And again, I don't think that St. Coeur is just going to pull it over and hand it to him, but I don't think Kevin Thompson's just going to push him to the end either.
I definitely don't. I mean, Andrew St. Coeur, obviously, what an insanely good job he's done tonight. Pretty much wall-to-wall other than the pit road cycle, and come right back out and just be leading this pack here. He's done such a great job.
Oh, Atwood down the low side. Atwood around.
Adam Gardner into him. That's going to bring out a caution for sure.
Eric Warman has to be jumping up and down his car. Oh, Mike Leftwich.
Oh, my God.
Jamie Horne.
Jamie Horne having to lock it up. 94 machine. That's going to be Tyler Millette.
We have a parking lot. And the fog is settling in. I can't see anything back here. Wow.
Well, that just mixed this thing up.
Is that Carl Wiesner on that pit board in front of the 34? I think it is.
It is. K-Doggy in the chat. What's up? Race recap. Kevin, I had to get a race recap myself. I joined about 40 laps late, but I was at a work dinner. But Team BMP been very, very dominant. Andrew St. Coeur, Kevin Thompson, and Gary Clune have been almost wall-to-wall 1, 2, 3 pretty much all night other than the pit road cycles. Looking like they were probably going to pull away completely with this thing. A lot of the other guys that had been really competitive tonight were a lap down still from the pit road cycle. Eric Warman was running fourth. Still about 4 seconds behind. None of the leaders needed to pit again. But then we had that last caution there. Nick Atwood got around, and he'd been running toward the front most of the evening. And in the process, collected Adam Gardner. Mike Leftwich was involved late. Jamie Horne had to lock him up super hard at the very end. It's going to be the end of the night for some guys, and definitely going to mix this thing up and see how we're going to shake out, if anyone's going to pit, if anyone wants to try to get the fresh tires.
Let's see if we can walk you back through here, trying to find Nick Atwood. We saw him go low off the track just a little bit here, coming into this corner. Him and Adam Thompson. I don't know if Adam knew he was down there or not. Atwood tries to come back on the track. Gardner gets into him. We'll slow it down a little bit here because I thought this was over with. But then you have guys like Jamie Horne and Mike Leftwich coming around the track. Here comes Mike Leftwich, nowhere to go. Gets right into him. Bill Gentry involved. That is Stephen Bonomo. You see Miller locking them up. Eric Anderson able to escape on that low side. Looks like Dumont able to sneak on through as well. But then behind that, I don't know what happened here. Let's see if we can hop on board with Jamie Horne.
It looked on our initial kind of check that it looked like he was just trying to lock him up to avoid it, but it looks like he was spinning before all that happened.
Yeah. I don't know. And then we also saw Justin McMahon. It seems like
same
both
kind
of
of
them, like you get on the brakes a little bit and it just spins that car.
Yeah, Jamie maybe a little bit more was trying to like fully lock it up because he was going to be headed straight into it. Justin just looks like he was trying to get woed down to make sure that he could, have some control of it as he was coming up on everything, and it still spun him as well.
Yeah, I don't even think Jamie locked it up at all. I think just getting on the brakes coming out of that corner like that. Yeah, he didn't even lock it up or slide.
It just dumps it.
And Millette, the same thing. That is crazy.
Just seems like some really unfortunate timing for those guys.
Yeah, it's got to be something with the setup or the brake bias or how these cars handle now. Coming out of that corner, all three of those guys just getting on the brake a little bit and it spins them out. That
and then Jamie,
it's crazy.
Jamie able to get lucky and get all the way down there against the wall, but
We trying to dissect that, missed the green flag restart, but I think Coeur taking the lead out here. Thompson behind him, Clune. Zach Miller going to be in fourth place now. Eric Anderson, talked about him earlier tonight, being up at the front. We talked about it a lot this year. Anderson does all the right things, been in the league for a while. He's a no-drama guy. Races good, keeps his nose clean. Some of the fewest incidents in the league, which is a fact. We checked the stats before the race started.
the nicer guys you'd ever want to be involved with on the track as well.
Yeah, a guy easy to root for.
And that doesn't even have anything to do with that blue 43 on the side of the car.
I think is he back in a Ford tonight, or is that the Camry? That's the Camry.
Camry.
So it's kind of weird seeing the 43 in the Camry. I know we talked about that one time before.
Yeah.
But these
But
guys,
it looks like
single file on the bottom row. Eric Woolman all over the bumper. Jason Ross trying to work his way around any way he can with 12 to go.
these guys are just trying to get back up to the front. Seems like they're maybe smelling a little bit of blood in the water, where now they're a little bit closer and they can get back to the front and have something for these BMP guys, but they're still running 1, 2, 3, looking strong, 12 to go. BMAC in the comments, win one for the family, Andrew. We need to hear you being interviewed. See Mike Leftwich down there on the bottom of the track trying to get out of pit road right there. He's going to be 3 laps down now. At this point, I believe Zach Michael was the one to get the lucky dog on that last restart. He's going to be in 11th. Next person in line to get their lap back, if we do get another caution, is going to be Jonathan Jennings.
And we're sitting here on the cockpit cam with Eric Anderson now, a man out of Panama City, Florida. You know, trying to talk about strategy on a one-lane track, it's tough because it's kind of, you can't pass on the outside here, obviously, but you're looking for Clune to do exactly what he's doing here. Slip up just a little bit. I want you to drift high, and then I'm going to stick my nose in right underneath you, make you have to take that high side, make Clune fall back, and that's how you're going to have to work your way up. But only 10 laps to go. He's got to get going here soon if he wants to get that podium position.
And it's looking like you can start to kind of see where everyone's trying to look for that same thing. They're trying to line their right, where their right headlight would be, up where their left head, the guy in front of them's left brake light would be. Trying to get that nose in, get some place to try to move under, get that nose down.
And if Clune moves up like that too much, you got to take advantage of that. You can't let it happen. But a lot of times these guys are trying to stay on the bottom of that car in front of them, because if you get up tight, just like what Jason Ross just did there and behind that car, all the way behind the car, it can make you aero tight, make you kind of plow up towards the top. So you want to keep that left headlight, like you're talking about, just below that left corner of the car in front of you.
Like Eric Warman went up a little bit high there. I mean, these guys at 9 to go, you're starting to look for any way you can. Oh, car in the wall.
Zach Miller giving us the hell melon on lap 8, or lap 8 to go.
Yeah, see, there's now Jason Ross is going to be up there at the top of the track. That almost looked like he did that on purpose, like he was trying to get another lane opened up. With no help. Everyone knows that bottom lane has all the speed right now.
Yeah, it's hard.
He's going to start flipping back positions.
It's hard to get help with 8 to go. Maybe with 2 or 1 to go, but moving back up near the front now, Jonathan Jennings behind Eric Warman. He's going to be a lap down, actually, though, so just trying to hope and pray that a caution does come out and get that lap back, give him a fighting chance. But St. Coeur still leading this thing. Thompson right behind him, and Clune behind him as well.
Like Like you said, if I'm Eric Anderson, the one person I've seen out of this line of that top three, the BMP guys, I mean, they've been running flawlessly. If I could see a loose screw right now, it would be that it seems like Gary Clune is going up just a little bit higher than the other guys. And if there's any spot where you can get your nose down and try to get it on that low side, if you get that low side, you're going to get some people following you. I mean, Eric Warman's running close enough that he could be able to easily try to track behind, but you got to get the space first. You know, in some leagues or in some races, you might see someone trying to kind of move them up the track just a little bit. I don't really see that happening either A, in the Group 6 Cup Series, or B, I don't see Eric Anderson doing that just as a human being. But that's kind of what you're hoping for at this point with 5 to go.
Yeah, Clune's doing a lot better job protecting that low side right now. Trying to keep him down. Also, if you're Eric Anderson, you have to time that run. I know these cars are kind of tough with the draft now. There's not really much of a draft at Atlanta, just more punching a hole through the air. But you got to really time it when you're going to run up on a guy and try to put your nose in there.
It looks like Eric Warman decided it was time to go ahead and go up there to the top of the track, see if they can make anything happen. Doesn't look like they've got much of a head of steam right now, but they've got cars behind that it looks like are willing to go.
Dumont just floated up to the high side, gave a little door tap to Adam Thompson back there. But 3 to go here.
Such a good run by those BMP guys. See if they can get in here and close this thing out. Looks like everybody else is trying to find a way to see if they can get around them, and nobody has anything right now.
And this is an open setup lead. You can see those BMP guys have sparks flying off the cars around, looks like turn 4 and turn 2. I mean, that car is bottoming out a little bit. That could mess up some of their drive pattern, but it doesn't seem like to affect them now. Kind of hoping some of that gas burns off. The back end lifts up a little bit, but 2 to go. You got to give it everything she's got.
Got to give it everything she's got, and Kevin Thompson right there on the bumper of Andrew St. Coeur. Been such a great teammate all night long, just staying right on Andrew's bumper, making sure they keep that momentum. Like you said, not so much a draft at Atlanta, just kind of punching through the air, and they have been just letting the air have a prime Mike Tyson tonight. Final lap. Let's see if Kevin's going to try to make a move, or if Andrew St. Coeur is going to be able to bring this thing home all the way. Still single file down there on that bottom side.
Oh, Anderson's going to try the high side. I don't know if it's going to help. He does have a small run there. Looks like Thompson's trying the high
goes
side.
high. Kevin Thompson goes high.
Kevin Thompson's got
Kevin Thompson. Kevin Thompson with a last-second move. My God, made the high side work. No success there all night long. Makes the jump. Eric Anderson going up there as well, trying to make a move.
Wow.
What a run by Andrew St. Coeur all night long. But Kevin Thompson, his teammate, goes up to the high side at the very end. And he's going to bring home the win here for Team BMP. Andrew St. Coeur going to come home in second. Eric Anderson going to wrestle third place away from Gary Clune. What a run by these guys. Team BMP all night long. Just with a flawless performance. But Kevin Thompson, burn it down, son. You have earned it. What a move. Thank you, Kevin, for those cinematics there as well. That was fantastic. Sean Thompson cheering in the comments. Let's go. BMAC, OMG. Congrats, Kevin. Wow. Great race, Andrew. Still love you. Love to see the support from everybody there. Sean Thompson saying, awesome, son. Mark McRae, so disappointed in you, Andrew. If you're not first, you're last.
Kevin's getting a
My
free
God.
T-shirt.
Kevin's getting a free T-shirt.
Oh man, and I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, we can rewind it. It's on the tape. I called Kevin Thompson tonight. I have broke the curse. My pick has
Look at you
finally
go.
won.
Maybe you really have finally broken that curse.
It is over. Now I expect the next week of my life to be miserable from some other circumstance.
You got the iRacing luck back, but just not going to be there everywhere else. But
What a trade-off.
again, what a run. The BMP guys just dominant all night long. Andrew St. Coeur leading the majority of the laps here, still going to get a second place finish. So a huge points night for him, especially with Jamie Horne finishing a little bit further back. That's going to be great for Andrew St. Coeur's points. But what a move by Kevin Thompson, taking advantage of that kind of last second straightaway. Eric Anderson making that move and being able to wrestle the win away there from his teammate. But you check out the race results on the screen right now. Kevin Thompson bringing it home. Andrew St. Coeur going to be in second place. Two teammates, 1 and 2 there. Eric Anderson able to break up the BMP 1, 2, 3 and get third place over Gary Clune. Look at those margins of victory. How close was that there at the end? But Gary Clune bringing it home in fourth. Eric Warman coming home in fifth place. Daniel Wilkerson, huge run for him there at the end. Way to stay safe and keep your nose out of all the trouble. Going to bring it home in sixth. Brett McCoy going to finish seventh. Jason Ross in eighth. Zach Michael going to finish in ninth. Stephen Bonomo in 10th. Zach Miller going to finish in 11th. That's going to be your last car on the lead lap for this race. Jonathan Jennings going to finish in 12th. Mark Dumont in 13th. Adam Thompson going to come home 14th. Jamie Horne in 15th. Tyler Millett 16th. Justin McMahon 17th. And Chris Simon going to come home in 18th.
Like coming in 19th, Gary Armijo, Michael Dow in 20th, Mike Leftwich, who had a unfortunate accident there at the end, 21st. Adam Gardner led a few laps tonight, got involved in 2 different incidents there. I don't think either one of them were particularly his fault there, but 22nd place for him tonight. Nicholas Atwood, part of that BMP team up there in the front all night long, running with those guys. In 23rd, Bill Gentry, 24th. Clay Wood, 25th, BJ Hall, 26th, and Richard Leclerc is going to round out your final place tonight here at Atlanta. For the Atlanta Double Race 1, there will be another Race 2. Atlanta Double implies there's 2 races. This is Race 1. The next one will be not next week, but the week after that, same place. So while we are here, we are going to try to get some of these drivers up in the booth. I know Kevin Thompson's excited. I know Sean Thompson's excited. I'm excited they get a free T-shirt. It's a good day for everybody. Let's see if we can pull up Kevin Thompson here to the booth with us. Kevin, you got a copy with us in the booth?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, congrats, man. I know we usually don't start with first place tonight, but I got too excited and forgot what I was doing. But congrats on that win. We were kind of ecstatic up here in the booth. Looking at it all night, wondering what was going to happen at the end. Did you think that St. Coeur was going to hold you off at the end? Did you guys talk about how you were going to finish that race? I know your teammates threw it all, but that last lap's different.
Yeah, the last lap's different, and knowing that this is my home track, I got to get the win, and plus a win for the playoffs. And we worked really, really well all race long. And coming down to the end there, I knew I wasn't going to do anything stupid to mess him up or Gary up at the behind me. So I knew coming to the white flag, I was going to make a move out of 4, and if I passed him, I passed him. If not, I'll take a second, and we come back here in 2 weeks. So other than that, the race was amazing. What iRacing did with these cars, with the new updates and the tire model and the downforce and everything else, made this racetrack amazing on this sim. You have to let off. If not, you're gonna get loose and get loose and tight at the same time and spin out. So it was an awesome race. Brought it home for BMP, and it's been a while since I've been up here getting the interview.
And you've been close, knocking on the door all year. We've been looking at some stats and playing some Doghouse Racing League trivia, and I think you have the most passes in the league, one of the highest finishers in the league consistently. But I'm finally able to get it done here tonight. Beast Mode Performance is kind of just running away with it here lately, between you guys and some other teams. But do you guys come out here and practice as a team like this? Because all night you guys look to be in synchrony and like just having the same thing going. That first pit stop, Hunter compared it to the Blue Angels. Is that something you guys practice?
No, we actually do not get much practice. Probably if we do, an hour before the race starts. So we've been racing with each other for a while now, and we just know each other's where they're gonna break, where we're gonna get back in the gas, and it's just a very good team.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. You're going to be back out here in 2 weeks. Surely the confidence is going to be high after this win tonight. Are you looking to make any changes or just do it the same way, run it back?
We'll run it back. Couldn't touch us tonight. They probably won't touch us in 2 weeks.
I love it. We'll probably let you go. Any sponsors or shout outs you want to give? I have Sean Thompson in the comments here saying that if you win, that he would buy you a t-shirt at the race Saturday.
Yeah, that's my father. I want to thank him for watching each and every week. My other family that watches each and every week. Um, for y'all putting on a great broadcast each and every week. Daniel for putting this on, and to every other driver out there tonight, it was an amazing race and one of our best pack races.
Absolute congratulations. And I'm not going to lie, I picked you tonight. You are the first driver I have picked to win that actually won. So thank you for that. The curse is broken. So
Yeah, let's go.
maybe I won't pick you next week because I do have a bad luck, but I can see you coming out here and doing a two-peat out here in Atlanta. But congrats again, man. We hope to see you again in 2 weeks.
No, you too, man.
That's going to be Kevin Thompson finishing first place tonight. I did do that out of order because I was just kind of excited about it. It was a great finish. Me and Hunter were talking about it earlier about making some different calls there at the finish line. I mean, that one did not disappoint whatsoever. But next, I'm going to go back to my original order and pull up Eric Anderson finishing third place tonight.
Good.
Eric, you got a copy with us in the booth?
I got a copy. How about it, guys?
Well, congratulations on your third place finish tonight, man. That run at the end, we were kind of talking about some strategy to get around Gary Clune there. Talk to us about what was going on with 10 to go.
Well, he kept pushing up, and I kind of wanted to nose under him, but I didn't want to do that because I'm usually not that kind of guy. So they were all teammates, I believe, in front of me. So I'm riding around, and I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like, fourth is pretty good. It's probably my best finish of the year. I'll just ride this thing out, you know. And then what's his name got behind me? Journey. Anyway, he got behind me, and I said, well, he'll go with me if I go. So I was waiting until maybe turn 4 just to spread it out and not lose a good finish, but try to get by the 3 teammates in front of me. And he went on the back stretch, so I real quick got out in front of him. I don't know how close that was. I need to look at that. And somehow I had the momentum through the turn, and it just kept rolling. So I stayed with it.
Yeah, it seemed like the high side did not play at all tonight until that very last lap. It worked out for both you and Kevin Thompson. Did you think that the high side pass there on the end was going to work that well?
I don't know that I thought it was. I just knew that was where I had to be because there wasn't no cars there. So you take the lane that you're given, basically, you know.
Yeah, it's funny you
But
said
it was weird. On the outside, the cars were jumping around, and then everything happens so quick here at Atlanta. You don't have much time to react. So going through the dog leg, if you're late, you know, a tenth of a second, you're shooting out from the guy in front of you. So it's kind of hard to keep together. You're running the inside line. Of course, you got the line you can follow and not have to look through cars and all that. So it's just more comfortable down there. I think it would be just as fast if you could tie it together, but it's just harder with the extra room on both sides of your car as opposed to one side.
Yeah, it's very funny you say that, what you said earlier about trying to put your nose in down at the bottom side, everything, because and that you weren't going to, and I think you said that you weren't going to do that to him or whatever, but Hunter said,
yeah, I'm not that guy.
Hunter said the exact same thing with about like 5 to go. He said, I don't know if Eric's going to do that. I don't know if he's that guy. And before that,
well, the guy in front of me, he can't see. The guy in front of me can't see where his back bumper is. He's looking forward. So I try to cut guys slack. It probably cost me some spots, but everybody gets through it, you know.
Well, we appreciate your driving style and hanging out here with us in the Doghouse Racing League. We looked at the stats earlier, and you were, I think, the 4th top driver with the lowest incidents in the league. So
Nice.
thank you for
Nice.
that. Thanks for being a clean
Yeah,
driver. But
I'll try to.
yeah, congrats on tonight. You got any sponsor shout outs you want to give before I let you go?
Yeah, I want to say, first of all, Daniel and all the admins that keep this thing rolling is fantastic. And everybody there at Doghouse TV, you guys make it a lot of fun. And you add the realism to it, even though it's a simulation. I won't say a game, it's a simulation, but the extra thing that does really adds to the thing. And I'd like to thank Group 6 and Shoney's for doing what they do. And I'd like to say hi to my mother and my sister. They watch just about every race. And they cheer me on, and thank the wife for letting me do it. And that's about it. Everything else, it's a good night.
Yes, sir. Well, congrats
I enjoyed
again on third place, and I really hope to see you up here in 2 weeks back in Atlanta.
I'm always trying.
Yes, sir. All right. Have a good night.
You betcha. Thanks, guys.
That's going to be Eric Anderson, your third place finisher, and that's kind of crazy, man. Is he watching the broadcast while he's racing? I don't even know if
No idea. I have no idea. It would that'd be some crazy levels of multitasking if that's actually what he's doing. But
he said
obviously, we appreciate all the compliments. But
he said the exact same thing we said, though, because like the first 8 to go, he's gonna try to push his nose in there. Like, I don't think he's that guy. He's not gonna do it. And then for him to come out here and say the exact same thing.
And if whether he was watching it or watching it back, I hope that Eric knows that was not in any way like me saying like, oh, he's not that guy, like he's not or can't do something like that. It was just, I think that highly of Eric Anderson as a driver and as a class act that I don't think he would do something like that. Even though for most people they would be like, that's racing, you're trying to win a race, you're not purposefully trying to wreck him, you're just doing something that might put the other driver at a little bit more risk. And so I hope if you do watch this back, Eric, or if you were watching it live, I hope you don't take what I was saying that way. It was very much an out of respect thing.
I don't think he did. I mean, it's hard not to root for that guy. But coming up next, I do have your second place finisher, Andrew St. Coeur, led pretty much every single lap besides the cycles and the last lap tonight. Andrew, you got a copy with us in the booth?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, I don't know if you're disappointed in that finish, happy for your teammate. What's the emotions like right now?
No, I'm happy. Genuinely happy for Kev. I knew we didn't even talk about that scenario all race, but in the back of my mind, I knew it was coming. And he backed off coming down halfway down the stretch, backstretch on the final lap, and I tried to wash up the track a little bit to give him some side draft through 3 and 4. And then I just saw he had such a run. I just didn't want to be in a situation, obviously, where I chopped my teammate and took out the entire field and wrecked, Kev, myself, and Gary from a chance to have a solid finish, have a really good finish. And I definitely didn't want that to happen. So, the only thing out of all that I was a little bit disappointed in was that we weren't able to get all 3 of us up here in the broadcast booth tonight for interviews. But I was still, Eric had a great race too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that BMP team, all 4 of you guys got them on the screen right now. We're just there all night working together. I mean, I told this to Kevin Thompson as well, but Hunter compared it to the Blue Angels, and I think that's the most great comparison. When you guys hit pit road all at the same time, like same angle, it looked planned. But no, great teamwork out there from all you guys tonight. We set it up here in the booth that it was going to be teammates till the very end or the last lap. It looks like that's the way it was. But, I mean, coming back here in 2 weeks, you got to have some confidence with that run, too, because you were in front all night. Is there any changes that you would think that you're going to make?
Honestly, no. As long as the race is at the same time of day, I haven't looked at that yet, but I suspect it is evening. But if it isn't, it might be hotter. They might do an afternoon race. I'm just not sure what Daniel set up. But either way, we'll have to maybe look at the set if it's going to be a substantially hotter track. But it's the set was stable to begin with, so I don't know. I was a little bit concerned, honestly, that this step was going to be a little too stable and too tight in the cooler track temp, but we took a chance on it. I don't know if you were paying attention to this racing at all this week in NIS or Opens, but there were some crazy incidents where just out of the blue, people were just snapping loose, getting loose, nobody touching them. just taking the air off taking the air off them and getting them loose. So it's we definitely came into this with a stabler set because we didn't want that sort of thing to happen. So we'll have to wait and see. But if everything's equal, absolutely. I mean, I don't think we have to change anything right now. And I think definitely not to be cocky, but the confidence, with the team at these super speedways and these plate tracks. We definitely always seem to find a way to work together and quite frankly, control the majority of the races. And it doesn't happen by accident. We definitely work at it. And I think it just, but I know other teams out there are going to try to elevate their game to make it more difficult on us. So I look forward to that challenge.
Yeah, it's very interesting you say that. I came into this race. I have not raced the next gens yet since the update because honestly, I'm a little scared too. Last week was Pocono. I don't like Pocono.
They're a lot of fun. Honestly, there's going to be people that struggle with them, but I think genuinely the people that I've raced with outside of the league as well, that it's bringing a different dynamic into play that I think we haven't had. It's fun. It's fun. I'm enjoying the learning curve.
Did you ever feel like there was a chance that you could snap tonight? We saw Adam Gardner have that situation where somebody pulled it behind him and looked like he snapped, and there was a wreck off of turn 2 where Jamie Horne, Justin McMahon, and Tyler Millett all had a snap at the same time. Almost.
Yeah. So Adam and Kevin and I were communicating really well together on that. So when we really worked on if he's going to bump me far enough down the straights or back enough from the corner that he's not taking that air off me going into the corner. So I'm not getting loose on entry because that's where it seems to be happening, right on entry. Entry center is not center off that people are getting loose. That's my experience anyway. So we were really conscious of him giving me enough room entering the corner. So that didn't happen. However, if I'm sure you would have seen it on the broadcast, but we were when we had comfortable sort of gap between, I would say more after the second or after the pit stop, when we all took green flag stops, we came out and we were, we had a bit of a gap. We were really careful to open up the wheels on exits and kind of wash out to the middle of the track on the back straight, and not have too much wheel into it off to put us into situations where we get loose is easy. So we really tried to kind of straight line it off a bit if you didn't notice, and that was strategic to keep that wear off the right front. So because it did tend to build tight too if you weren't in clean air. Now, mind you, I didn't know what that felt like tonight, but I know from practice that if like Kevin and Gary and Nick and Adam, when they were behind us, they were fighting dirty air all night, really having to lift on entry into the corners, putting a lot of wheel into it, getting on throttle to maintain speed, and it's a recipe for disaster if you're not doing it right because you'll get loose. So tight loose, I guess. But yeah, no, it was yeah, I'm super excited for Kev. I got to congratulate him again. It's his home track. I think he may have had a win here a year or two ago at Atlanta as well. So anytime he can get a win at his home track, it's always exciting. It's the way I would have drawn it up if before the race started to get Kev the win tonight anyway. He's not, I don't think he had a win yet this season, so it was good to get him a win and at his home track. So and I think if he had qualified ahead of me, it might have been the same scenario as what happened to me tonight. We would have had to, maybe next week we'll see, or 2 weeks. But I'll put it this way: if I'm in second place and he's leading on the final lap, he's not winning the race. So,
absolutely. Well, it was great racing. I know at Charlotte you had that finish to the end right around Adam Thompson, so you've given us 2 really good content field finishes. I actually included that Charlotte win in our Doghouse promo video at the beginning of the stream if you go back and watch it and see it. But
not if, when.
Yeah. So before I let you go, any shout outs or sponsors you would like to give?
Yeah, thank you. Thank the you guys. Some great broadcast. I can't wait to go see it. Daniel, the whole Doghouse Racing League, and got to thank my team. Obviously, I mean, the team. It was a team game tonight, and none of us would have been up there if we didn't work together. So, congratulations to everybody, and glad to see Gary get a strong finish as well. And I know Nick would have been right up there too if he didn't have an unfortunate incident or two throughout the run. But yeah, so thank the team and obviously the all those fans that were watching tonight. And I know my my mother was watching again, and I believe my brother was visiting and maybe watching as well. So shout out to them.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations on P2 tonight. Looking forward to seeing you back up in the booth in 2 weeks here at Atlanta.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
That's going to be Andrew St. Coeur, your second place finisher tonight, leading the race pretty much wall to wall. But on that last lap, Kevin Thompson throwing it to the outside, putting the pedal down, and taking that win right there at the very end. Might have to squeeze that in our promo video for our next one.
I love the just quiet confidence out of Team BMP there too. And again, just can't emphasize it enough. Just real sheer class out of everybody that finished top 3 here. You know, wanting to see everybody else do well, wanting to make sure you don't mess the team up, not wanting to make a move that might be risky. I mean, just really, really clean, really, really fun racing. So that's just always great to see. But love the quiet confidence out of Team BMP. And, you know, Kevin saying, like, I don't really think we're going to change anything. Like, they're going to be chasing us. And Andrew letting Kevin know, little nudge in the ribs there at the end. You know, if he's in first, he ain't finishing there if I'm in second. Like, that's fun, man. Good competition, good racing.
Oh, man.
How much fun is that, man?
I respect it a lot. I mean, I love the team play, the team dynamic. I'm a team sport kind of guy. But BMP out here putting the teamwork in tonight, except for that last lap. Like Tony Stewart said, I'll wreck your mom for a championship. He didn't wreck him, but he definitely, not teammates there on that last lap. So he shoots the outside, takes the win. Going over just try to get a little race recap here. So we did have a little bit of interruptions tonight. Andrew St. Coeur was your pole winner. Jamie Horne on the outside starting out this race. And Andrew St. Coeur holding it down for a majority of the race, keeping it going. Did have a few incidents. Mark Dumont going off the track there. That's going to mess up his night. And then the other Mark Dumont incident here with BJ Hall early on the race. That was right after somebody in the comments, Mark McRae, said no cautions tonight. And there was, of course, a caution right after that. Moving on a little bit later, we had Adam Gardner have his little incident here. I think this is kind of what they were talking about. Horne getting right behind them, getting them a little loose. Causing Adam Gardner to spin off down to the pits. Going to mess him up tonight. Also, Adam Thompson. A lot of Thompsons and Adams in this league. Coming off pit road. He had a strong car tonight, but that was going to put him down a few laps. And then going back to this crash here at the end for our second caution. Nick Atwood, part of that BMP team, getting turned around. Mike Leftwich getting collected in that. Other cars snapping loose coming off that corner. But at the very end, we had that green flag restart. Kevin Thompson on the outside there, or inside there, and St. Coeur on the outside. Trying to get it done, bringing it around to the last lap. And coming to checkered. Kevin Thompson making that move on the outside, making it close, giving us content, taking the win away from his teammate Eric Anderson, finishing third, St. Coeur in second place. But that is going to do it for us tonight here at Atlanta. What a race.
So much fun, man. That ending was fantastic. It makes me sad that I wasn't here for the beginning, because it just looked like an absolute show. And they still gave us one. And, I joined about 40 laps late, unfortunately, tonight. But that ending that's an all-timer. I mean, that's got to be top 3 of the Group 6 Cup Series Doghouse Racing League finishes that I've seen, and how everything kind of ties together. Kevin getting that big run on the outside. No one's been able to get a run on the outside really tonight. And then Adam Thompson, Eric Anderson, when he was trying to get to the outside, make his run because he didn't want to go down to the inside and get underneath somebody. He was waiting for somebody to jump out behind him and get him a run. And realistically, kind of watching that back, it kind of seems like that because Kevin Thompson jumped out and went and kind of punched the air out for him, that let Eric get that run there. And so just really tight racing at the end. Really fun to watch. I mean, that's got to be a classic here.
Yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite finishes this year. I know Charlotte was good. St. Coeur always putting on a show for us when he's up there at the front at the finish line. So St. Coeur beating out Thompson at Charlotte a few weeks ago, just squeezing it out. And then this week, Kevin Thompson taking over at Andrew St. Coeur to squeeze it out. But I would like to thank our sponsors one last time here before we go. Group 6. This is the Group 6 Cup Series. They are a leading creative agency passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore their wide range of services at group6inc.com and see how they can drive your digital success. That's GROUP, the number 6, INC.com. Thank you very much to Group 6. I also want to give a big shout out to another one of our series sponsors here, Shoney's. Shoney's been a sponsor of the Doghouse Racing League for a long time, and the Doghouse Racing League is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Make sure to stop by one of their West Virginia locations, try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar, and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and service since 1947. Also proud to be sponsored by Butt Kicker, who is a leading brand in iRacing haptics. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, check out thebuttkicker.com to see how you can elevate your iRacing game. And to quote Hunter Foley here, a little shameless self-plug, we are Nap Daddy Racing. We make up a group called Nap Daddy Racing, specializing mainly in iRacing design and paint schemes, but kind of branching out to the broadcasting world. Actually enjoying it a little bit. It's fun to see races like this, especially makes it worth it. But yeah, check us out at napdaddyracing.com. Get all your paints and broadcasting needs and whatever else you need in iRacing. And then that is going to do it for us here at Atlanta. Last thoughts on the race.
Super fun, man. I think that whole last 10 laps really just sums up Group 6 Cup Series Doghouse Racing League so well. I mean, everyone racing with a ton of skill, lots of class shown, but still competitive as all hell and just wanting to go out there and get the job done. Kevin Thompson driving his butt off there at the end, trying to get the win here at his home track. And just a huge night by Team BMP as well, and be able to see how well they work together. And then Eric Anderson going up there and sneaking that third place finish. That's just a ton of fun. And I know that's going to set up a potentially even more exciting race next week, because, I mean, the competition runs deep in this league, and that a lot of these other guys that maybe didn't have such great finish here tonight are going to be bringing it next week, trying to make sure that Team BMP is not quite so dominant next week. But I know that they have a ton of confidence, and I absolutely expect to see them near the top next week. But just a ton of fun, man. That's a classic.
We could not agree more, but that's going to do it for us tonight. If you want to check out more racing in the Doghouse Racing League, you can catch the action on Tuesday night at Intensity Broadcasting on YouTube for the ARCA series that will be kicking off next week at 8 o'clock over on Intensity Broadcasting. I'm not sure about a truck race. I don't know if they ended that series or not, but if you also want to see more Cup Series action, these same guys going right back at it, running it back next week here, not next week, 2 weeks from now, I'm sorry, here at Atlanta for the second part of the double Whoever has the highest finish over both of these races will receive a checkered flag with their car on it from the Doghouse Racing League. They're pretty cool. I know Doghouse Racing League has had some money races before. To be honest, I would not take the money and just take the flag because the flags are sick. And I know that's what a lot of other guys in the league are fighting for. Those flags are pretty cool. Be able to hang up on your wall. So looking at that BMP team can get it done next week with a good finish here. But that's going to be not next week, but the week after here in Atlanta on Doghouse Racing TV, starting at 7:45 Eastern Time. But for the last time tonight, I have been John.
And I have been Hunter Foley.
And we will see you guys next time.
Take care, everybody. Thompson and St. Coeur side by side, racing it out. Who has the faster car to finish this thing? St. Coeur is gonna bring it home in first. What a race at the end of that thing. Caution, caution, caution. Come around the corner. Jamie Horne is going to be your winner here at the Mars Properties 200.